once again, welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. This is May and it's cold out. I don't understand where the spring weather is or the summer weather because I can't deal with this. But we are here. I guess it was like matching shirts day or something. He got on the black tee, I got on the black tee.
Nah.
So we here, Todd's here. You know, we're about to go through all this eventful sports stuff: NBA, NFL, hockey, baseball, all that good stuff. So we're gonna get right into it. The Celtics quit. They quit and they gone fishing. They're fishing right now. So their season's over after humiliating, embarrassing outing against the Bucks. And it was just, you know, Game 5 was just the perfect way for them to end their season by quitting again because it was embarrassing.
I mean, we said it all season long that they were going to have a difficult time managing all the minutes of all their players because they have guys come back from injury and guys who weren't supposed to play as much last year that got a lot of time, that felt they deserved time.
Yeah.
And it was just dysfunctional all season long in all reality.
And we don't even know how deep. We know a little bit of how dysfunction it was, but we don't know how deep it was, how deep the dysfunction was. Because you got Terry Rozier going on national television. He's saying what he was saying. So there was just a big problem in that locker room that a lot of us don't know. And it showed by the way Terry Rozier was speaking yesterday. So it's this was, I don't even know where they go from here. I have no idea. But they got a lot of changes got to happen. I said it sarcastically as a trade everybody after the game, sarcastically, but they got to make a lot of changes.
And I applaud Brad Stevens for taking ownership of how the season went. Just because a lot of guys could be like, well, it's not me, it's the players, but in all reality, you are the top when it comes to like controlling the team on the court.
Yeah,
So
if you saw my blame list, I had a blame list, and the head coach was number one for me because this could have all been avoided if he nipped it in the bud early in the season. But Brad Stevens, you know how Boston media is. They usually, you know, when team with high expectations underperform, they usually come at the coach a lot. And he got in a pass because their best player was doing nonsense in press conferences, throwing his teammates on the bus. So Kyrie kind of took the bad press that Brad Stevens should have got. He took it away with the stuff that he was doing.
I just feel the whole team needs to look in the mirror and understand what it takes to win. Because get out your feelings. I get it. Your minutes get dropped. Some players' minutes increase. But at the end of the day, you all getting paid. You all are there to achieve the same goal, and that's to win a championship. And you might not like each other. You might get annoyed how some players get catered to because we see it. We see the annoyance out there on the court. You can see it. Like,
yeah, but in reality, you got to realize that this is a guy that's making this much money. They're paying him this much money. Of course they're going to cater to him. They got a guy, he's coming off a foot injury, but he also signed a big contract. So those two are the priorities. That's just how sports works. The NBA is a players' league. It's not like college when it's a coaches' league. And the highest paid players, they're going to get treated differently than some of the other guys. But my issue with this team is because, you know, a lot of the blame is going at Kyrie, rightfully so, because you are the best player, you were the hot guy they traded for. So I understand why everybody's criticizing him and blaming him for this season. But I just want to know where in the world everything went wrong. Because last season, before he got hurt, this exact same team, minus Gordon Hayward, the way they were playing championship-style basketball. The way, even the guys coming off the bench, everybody was getting along, everybody was playing well, everybody was playing their role, and the team was gelling too. You know, Kyrie got hurt, and you know, I thought that was it. They're not going to win it all. But the way they were playing, so at what point, when did everything go wrong? I'm like, so much changed after his injury in March last season. I'm just like, you guys all got along, you guys were all playing well, you guys were all happy with y'all role, and now you can't carry that over. Like, I understand you had success in that playoff run, but honestly, that playoff run was more of an anomaly. That would not happen again if they didn't have the number one seed, because they were number one seed overall, and that proved to be the difference because they closed out all the games at home.
But you know, I always say people love to forget people get comfortable. So they probably forgot that I'm only playing this much because some of our best players are injured. They just got comfortable and feel like they deserve all this and might feel entitled sometimes because of how they played last year. But you got to understand, like you said, certain players are getting paid a certain amount of money. Yeah. You have to understand your role on the team, and they didn't understand their roles.
At all. They definitely came full of themselves. But let me just give you some stats with some of. So these are the Celtics' three best players: are Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. Out of the three of them, Jaylen Brown was the only one that actually played well in every single game. You know, he had, except Game 5, but that was already over. So I knew they had already packed in. But if you look at his numbers, 19 points Game 1, 57% shooting. 16 Game 2, 41% shooting. 18 Game 3, 50% shooting. 16 Game 4, 45% shooting. And now we look at Jason Tatum. He only had one game where he shot over 50%, where he shot 50% from the field. The rest was 28, 20, 42, 30. It was just terrible. And then I don't even want to give you Kyrie's stats. He was 4 for 18, 1 for 5 from 3, 8 for 22, 2 for 8 from 3, 7 for 22, 2 for 5 from 3. And his plus minus was just terrible. It was like.
One thing I say, I respect Jaylen Brown just because as much as they talk about he'd be like one of the first players to get traded instead of Tatum, he's consistent. He's mentally strong because obviously that got to be annoying after a while when you're always in the midst of little trade talks and stuff, or people that would give up for certain players and things like that. And he's a real professional.
Yeah, he's a real pro. Him and Marcus Morris were the mature ones this entire time, especially this postseason, those two. So we don't know where the Celtics go from here. Kyrie, they don't know if he's going to come back or whatever's going to happen. We're going to find out at the end of the month. But they stress me out. Anyways, to another Game 7, one of the most exciting games, the Raptors and the Sixers. And this was a game where both teams just laid it out on the court. And it was one heck of a game. And I didn't even know what to say with that bounce. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I saw it too. And I didn't think it was going to bounce in. I thought it was going to bounce over. But one thing I say, Kawhi, he's looking like the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Both ends of the floor. Yeah. Like, to me, you can't be the best player in the world if you only score. Like, you might be best scorer in the world, but he plays both ends of the floor. He changed the culture of the team. Like, he's taking the load off Kyle Lowry's back, like, a lot, which Kyle Lowry probably just needed that because DeRozan wasn't that type of player, which is all right. You know what I mean? Kawhi just changed the culture. He's showing them how to win because he comes from that pedigree.
Yeah, Kawhi, he was going out shooting in this game. He took 39 shots in this game. Granted, some of his teammates were scared out there. They didn't want to shoot the ball. So he said, you know what, if y'all not going to shoot, I'm going to shoot it. And they needed every single one of his 41 points in this game. But the Sixers, they gotta be kicking themselves in the foot because they made the last 2 minutes, they had 3 shot clock violations. How do you not even get a shot off?
Man, their focus is still the same as last year's. We talked about it last year. There's moments in the game where they just lose it, like go brain dead, and you said it. How do you have 3 shot clock violations in 1 quarter? Let alone the game. Yeah. Like, we're professionals here. There shouldn't be that many shot clock violations.
Especially when it's crunch time, too. That should never happen. You have a 7-footer. That should never happen.
Some people fold under the pressure.
Yeah, the shot, I mean, that was perfect. That was about as good of defense you could play on somebody. That was just great defense, better shot. That was one of those instances. And the Sixers, I mean, well, they already said they're bringing back Brent Brown. They're bringing the coach back. I mean, I don't know how much further in the playoffs you're going to get with him as the head coach because they have a lot of flaws. And you're not going to win a game if your second best player, well, we don't know who their second best player is. Your alleged second best player doesn't want to develop a jump shot.
I was going to say the game would be so much easier for him in the 76ers if he just shot the ball a couple times. Not even a bunch of threes, pull-ups, just have them feel like, oh, he might shoot it. Keep the defense on their toes, but he feels he's 6'11", just drives to the basket every time, clog the lane up, and wonder why Embiid has difficulty sometimes trying to do his thing.
Yeah, honestly, because if he doesn't develop a jump shot, it's just gonna it's not going to work with him and Embiid because Embiid, he garners so much attention in the post. You got to double team him no matter what. And when you have the guy that's reluctant to shoot and that double team keeps coming, like, what's going to happen? You toss it to him, he's not going to want to shoot. And then the lane is just clogged. So, yeah, they need to figure that out because some people are saying trade him for somebody. They're talking about trading him or something, but they need to figure something out with him because you can't be. You've been in the league 4 years. You should have been developing that, and it's like he's reluctant to develop a jump.
He doesn't even care.
Yeah, granted, you're bigger than everybody, but everybody is as skilled as you, so you need a jump shot.
I think also too, he might feel like I'm in the league. Who cares? I'm 6'11". I'm doing my thing, but you're kind of holding the team back because you don't want to open it up for them.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And as a point guard, you got to see that, like.
Yeah, and you saw Embiid crying after the game. I don't blame him for crying. I'd cry too, losing, especially on a shot like that. I'd cry too. But people were saying, for him, because he's the biggest troll in the NBA, you can't be the guy publicly crying like that. Maybe if nobody saw you were in the locker room, but you can't be the biggest troll in the NBA and then you're crying because...
You know, we think exactly the same. That's what I was going to say. My whole thing is, though, he got the ugliest crying face, bro. He looked like Whoopi from The Color Purple. I was like, dude, you seen the memes? You see the above the rim joint? But yeah, my thing is, you're gonna be a bully on social media, always running your mouth, testing people.
Yeah.
You should be able to take that and not cry like that. A tear might drop, you wipe it, go in the locker room, then you know what I mean, you boo-hoo and stuff. But my man, like, you really walked out the arena looking like that? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And I have, you know me, I have feelings aren't that big with me, especially like you always running your mouth, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a kid running his mouth getting slapped and then want to cry the victim.
Yeah.
Like, bro, just shut it.
Yeah, it was hilarious because you can cry, but you just understand who you are and why nobody's gonna actually sympathize for you for crying because of all the nonsense that you've done, and trolling people.
If they played like the way they're supposed to be playing, he wouldn't be crying.
Yeah, yeah, this is true. This is very true. So Sixers going fishing with the Celtics, and the Raptors are in the conference finals. Houston. These guys, they had the platter just handed to them. They had the plate just handed to them for the victory. There was no excuses for them. Durant was hurt. They're saying this was their best shot of beating Golden State, and once again they crumbled under pressure.
It was weird because when KD got hurt, I'm like, I hope he's all right. But it's like, all right, Houston, this is your opportunity. You got to seize this opportunity because KD's been the man for them this year, so they had to get back and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Steph was getting back in his rhythm, but you should have stopped that.
Yeah.
And then
they stopped it for a half.
But then Harden barely gets shots up towards the end of the game, and it's like, what are you doing?
It's like he's reluctant. It was like he was reluctant to be aggressive at the end. It's like
I've seen that man take some awful shots and make them, or give your players a chance to rebound the ball. You didn't even put shots up to give Capella a chance to rebound, Tucker, somebody a putback or something.
Yeah, it's nobody showed up. Chris Paul, I don't even know what happened to. Well, he had a great game, but I don't even know what happened to him in the fourth quarter. And then it was just like when Steph got going, it's like they just started watching. Instead of playing the aggressive defense they were playing, they let him get hot, and whatever defense they were playing against him didn't matter anymore. And once again, Klay Thompson, these games he just comes on because he was carrying the team in the first half because he was hot in the first half. And you got to look at how Golden State played. They actually played all their role players, and they all had an impact on the game. Granted, not all of them scored, but they all made certain plays that won the game. Jordan Bell, he came in, he had a couple points. Yeah. Jonas Jerebko, he had a couple baskets here. Kevon Looney, he's been playing well too this postseason.
Even what's his name played in the
Quinn
series?
Cook?
Nah, I mean, yeah, you mean Quinn Cook, but Bogut.
Yeah, Bogut.
Bogut was out there.
Yeah, I think he started.
Yeah,
I think he started game 7,
yep.
and he had a positive impact on the game. And the Rockets, they just never changed their style. We've all been saying their style of play is not going to win a championship, and they never adjusted.
Nah, they don't D up hot enough. They don't put the pressure on the defense. you dribbling the ball for 20-some seconds, the defense just sitting there waiting for you to either shoot it or drive it. So they're not really exhausting much energy. They should have took a page out of the Clippers book and made them D up.
Yeah.
It's hard to play both ends of the floor when you're not consistently doing it every night.
Yep. Because the Clippers had guys moving around. They was making Steph work on defense, They basically was doing what Steph does on offense. They were doing that to him. These guys weren't doing it. It was just like, all right, James here. All right, Chris here.
Just let them
all
sit.
right, Eric Gordon
Let
here.
them sit back.
And the Warriors, they were the opposite. The Warriors wore them out. And Draymond Green, he's actually been playing a whole lot better. He's actually taking shots now. Like, he was reluctant to shoot. Now he's actually shooting the ball. And he's making them too. So it's like, these guys are playing like a team, and you guys have no excuses. You said if you had Chris Paul, you guys would win. But you had him now when your best player, that nickname, Small Game James, is going to stick to him because every time it's a big game, that's 3 years in a row, it's a big game, and he's just the final minutes, he's folded.
And I feel the Warriors are playing like the Warriors. Because when KD's there, you kind of have to, step back for KD because he's KD. Now that he's injured, they're actually playing like the old Warriors, so good luck trying to beat them.
And now we look back to the Celtics. We look at one team, they got a superstar player, and everybody adjusted. Even the two-time MVP adjusted his game for that superstar player. And then when it was time for him to go back to his normal self, he went back. The Celtics, nobody wanted to adjust. Nobody. So this is the difference between a championship team and a team that doesn't win championship. Because, Steph and Clay, how much they sacrificed their game just so KD can get the opportunities to score that he wasn't getting in OKC. And they were fine with it. And then once KD's gone, these guys are like, okay, let's go back to doing what we do. It's like they just flipped the switch just like that.
Also, too, I feel like it's easy to play for a Steve Kerr compared to a Brad Stevens. Just based on the respect level and you know what I mean, when he's always trying to, in your face telling you what to do, so something might be like, what have you done? Where have you played?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's another thing too. Steve got the jewels, man.
Yeah, so Warriors, 5th straight conference finals, and they'll be taking on we'll talk about that in a second, but the Blazers had a big game from CJ McCollum in Game 7 against the Nuggets. And the Nuggets, they showed that they're still a young team because in that fourth quarter, they really went ice cold, started taking bad shots, started just not playing their style of basketball. And the only player that was actually there playing was Jokic. Jamal Murray, he had a horrendous game. And it was just the CJ McCollum show.
Yeah,
and also role players stepping up in this one because Evan Turner and this guy, I like Zach Collins, man. That dude, I like him.
Oh, yeah, he's a dog. He's angry all the time.
Yeah.
He don't play and I feel like he be getting tried, big white boy in the NBA. Not a lot of them that effective. So I know they be trying him. He ain't no punk. I like Zach Collins.
He looked like he's been in a few fights in his life. Him and
Especially
Miles
at the
Leonard.
barbershop.
Yeah, him and Miles Leonard legit. Miles Leonard looks like a damn security guard or somebody's personal bodyguard because he's always angry too. On the bench, because I see him on the bench, he's just cheering and he gets in the game. He's always doing something that'll get under people's skin.
Hey, you got to get paid.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets paid. You know what I mean? He's a pest, a big pest at that.
Yeah, but the big outlook from this game was mid-range jumpers is still a thing. 2-point baskets is still a thing. And that's what every NBA player was tweeting after that game, talking about, don't let these analytic nerds tell you how to play basketball.
I always say, I love shooting them pull-up jumpers. You can only shoot so far from the basket till you go backcourt. And turn it over, and then it's just not a consistent, efficient shot to shoot that deep. Only Steph and Lillard are the only two that shoot from that deep efficiently, which is all right. But what I would say about that duo, CJ and Lillard, I don't see no Batman and Robin. They're like Cap and Iron Man, because they don't really, you know what I mean? Take away from one another. They both just go out there and get busy.
They definitely just work well with each other. And Grant Damian, he didn't have a great game, but he didn't do what Westbrook does. When he's not having a bad game, he starts forcing shots. Damian was actually making sure CJ got the ball and also getting everybody else involved because he had about 6 assists and then he had some key plays on defense too. So
I felt like he realized and remembered he's a point guard.
Yeah.
Granted, he's a point guard who shoots the ball at a high clip, very efficient. You know what I mean? But he realized, I'm getting doubled. It's a little difficult for me. Let me create for everybody else. And CJ got my back because you see, we had like 37.
Yeah, he had 37. He was putting in work, and that's what they needed from them from that game. So, I mean, kudos to Portland because they were getting slandered for getting swept by the Pelicans last year, but this is kind of like their redemption tour or revenge tour or whatever.
I mean, in order to move on, you got to look in the mirror.
Yep. They needed that. They needed that humbling from the Pelicans. And if you watch them, everybody on this team actually contributes into their roles. So they all understand that our guards are our best players. They're going to get the majority of the shots and score them, but we got to help pitch in when we need to. And, Rodney Hood's been stepping up big for them as well.
He was a good pickup. I like Rodney Hood, man.
Yeah, he ain't the same guy he was in Cleveland.
Not at all.
So we go on to the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 was last night. It was Denver just looked exhausted in that game. They looked exhausted. They kept it close, but they could never. They were getting those threes would demoralize you. And Steph was on and Clay was on. It was just it was one of those days.
They were a half step too slow. You can just tell. Like somebody said, look, a regular season game. It didn't even feel like a playoff game. I was like, what am I watching? Then I started dazing off because the game just wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
And then Steph and Clay getting these wide open shots, bro, at least put a little effort. I know y'all tired, but come on.
It was the pick and roll. If you watch the pick and roll, Cantor is just keeps dropping it. Do you know who has the ball on the pick and roll? What is that? Why are you back at the free throw line? There's no way on a pick and roll with Steph you ever drop. That's just asking for a disaster.
Yeah, they were just mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically, but more mentally, I feel like.
Yeah, because I think, to me, I've always said they would have been the only team that could knock the Warriors off or give them a run for their money because they match up so well with the guards. Durant's the difference, but he's out right now, so it's kind of an even playing field right now, but they match up the guard. Dame got to have a better game than what he did. CJ didn't have a great game himself as well, but if they just get it, they just need to regroup and get it together and make this thing competitive because if you keep dropping on those high pick and rolls, it's going to be a long series for you.
Practice shots, like Brother said, you can do this wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So that was game 1 last night. Warriors up 1-0. Game 2 is tomorrow night. Now, game 1 tonight is with the Raptors and the Bucks, and this one should be an interesting one. The matchup was an interesting matchup because you would think the Bucks are more athletic than the Raptors, but the way Kawhi's been playing, Kawhi will D up anybody, so I think, the key is to stop Giannis, but I think the role players for the Raptors actually have to step up. Kyle Lowry has to step up because he's been, he's going to be key in this series, but I don't know. I kind of want to see the Raptors get to the finals, but I don't know about this series.
It's going to be a battle between Giannis and Kawhi, definitely, because I think Kawhi is going to take on the challenge just like Giannis will. Bledsoe and Lowry going to be the difference, I think, just because Bledsoe's a tough guy, tough, strong guy. Lowry, he's up and down. We don't know what we're going to get from him.
What
Bud's going to bring to the table. Physical, hit some shots, get to the paint, create. But you never know with Kyrie. And I think whoever can protect home court.
Yeah, home court's definitely going to be a big difference in this one. Also, you got to look at guys like George Hill and Pat Connaughton because George Hill killed the Celtics. Game 3, 4, and 5, he had 21 points, 15 points, 16 points coming off the bench. So they're going to need those bench players to step up and big for them. And Danny Green also got to make those open shots that he's bound to get. I think that those are those are the role players to keep an eye on. But I want to say the Raptors are going to win this series just because the way Kawhi's been playing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee won it just because they've been the best team record-wise all season.
Regardless who wins out this series, they're both well-deserving.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've both been two of the best teams in the East all season.
Yeah, but it'll be a good consolation prize because they ain't winning the finals. Those guys are those guys out there in Golden State are different type of animal. More NBA news: the Lakers and these coaching fiasco. What in the world is going on in LA?
They need to sell it. Sell the Lakers, man. I was telling you before the show, second generation. What they call second generation? All right, when the company is passed down to you from your pops or something, mother or father, you don't care as much about the product as they once did because you're not grinding to make it the best product possible. Mm-hmm. So all you're doing is kind of just destroying it and giving it a half effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, there's no reason why the Lakers should be in the headlines like this with this.
Yeah, they definitely should not be in the headlines the way they are right now. And also, I mean, they were saying they wanted Jason Kidd to be their head coach, but the domestic violence issues in his past was the reason that they didn't want him, so they make him as assistant head coach. That's like, bruh, you got too many chefs in the kitchen. Like, what? If you liked him that much, then you would have just ignored. Then you would have just,
My thing is, you still put him on the bench.
Yeah.
You talking about his domestic and all that, but you still gave him a job.
Yeah.
He's not the head coach; he's an assistant. So what's the real difference? He's gonna have more press conferences, so you don't want him to be seen as much.
Yeah.
He's still on the bench. Like, that's just a dumb idea to me. Just give him the job. If you feel he would deserve the job.
Extremely dumb. And now Frank Vogel's gonna be coaching like watching over his shoulder because Jason Kidd, he wants to be a head coach. We all know he wants to be a head coach again. So this is just the Lakers are a dumpster fire. They're a disaster. They don't even know what they're doing.
I'll be honest. It seems like nobody wants to coach for the Lakers.
No, because
and then, see people just saying, nah, I'm straight. And then I was telling you, the Clippers looking like the new Lakers.
Yeah.
Like,
they have stability. They actually know what they're doing, what they want to do. The Lakers, they have no idea what they want to do.
Yeah.
And if I'm LeBron James, I'm just like sitting there like, really? I came out here for this nonsense.
Yeah, like, it ain't even LeBron's fault now. They just trying to ruin the back end of his career.
Yeah, that's and then they're talking about trading him. Like, what are y'all doing? You go ahead and trade him. You guys will probably win 20 games.
Yeah,
not even 30.
It's LA, man. We from that.
Speaking of LA, the NBA draft lottery was last night, and New Orleans Pelicans got the #1 overall pick, which was a surprise to everybody. And then the Memphis Grizzlies got the #2, and the New York Knicks got the #3. Knicks fans are depressed. They are sobbing because they're not getting Zion.
I'll keep it real. I thought it was rigged until the Knicks didn't get Zion. Then I was like, all right, I'm good. We good now.
Nah, it's still rigged. I still think it's rigged because I saw someone posted last night. Like David Griffin, he's gotten at least 4 or 5 lottery picks, and when he was with the Cavs. When he was with the Cavs and LeBron left, I think they had 4 lottery picks, and now this one. So it's like, do y'all got like a deal with David Griffin or something like that? Because there's no, like, how does this keep happening? If the Cavs had won it, I would have been like, okay, this thing is definitely rigged if the Cavs had won the lottery. But so it looks like Zion's going to New Orleans, and Anthony Davis, nobody knows what's going to happen with him.
I heard when they were talking about during the draft lottery that they told him they were going to go take Zion, and he was like, his decision's still the same. But I think he has to see Zion in the gym for him to really make that decision.
I think he's out of there still.
You think?
Yeah, I think his mindset, he's already out of there. He's been there for like 6-7 years.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like, it's at some point you just got to make a change. It's time to leave, and I think he's about to go out of there. So I mean, send him to Boston. We got some players for y'all. We got a draft pick too. We got the last lottery pick, #14. We'll give y'all something. Just send him our way. We will appreciate Anthony Davis and
definitely
utilize all his talents. All right, Kristaps Porzingis was attacked in his home country of Latvia. I don't know what happened, but he came out of club and you could see his head was bleeding, and so a lady was trying to calm him down, and the rumors were that it were some Russian guys who were upset that he got traded from the Knicks. That's the rumor.
For one, fans, y'all need to just relax. Y'all too mostly invested into people's decisions to better their own situation. Granted, he didn't trade himself.
Yeah.
They traded him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why. And I don't know, man. Like, I don't care that much. You know what I mean, about the sports. If I see somebody, oh my God, I'm like, for what? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know why you're that angry that he left. But maybe he never even wanted to be drafted. Most of these guys probably don't even want to go where they're being drafted. They have no choice. So maybe he didn't want to be in New York. But I mean, just to attack him for that reason.
How did it get you that bad?
Yeah, right? Like, why is your life got to be a crazy type of miserable for you to be that upset? But he's fine. He just need to get out of Latvia. I mean, granted, that's his home country, but geez, sometimes it's good to leave home.
Yeah.
All right, from an assault to a dummy, Josh Josh Jackson got arrested at the Rolling Loud concert in Miami because he tried to get into VIP without VIP passes, and I guess when they told him he needed passes, some stuff happened, and then he was resisting arrest, and boom, he got a misdemeanor for that, and he's facing felony charges. Dude, what?
I don't know if he was under the influence of something, like alcohol.
Maybe he was rolling loud.
Hopefully he wasn't under the influence of anything, man. My thing is, when you told me this, I'm like, I thought they usually get, like, accepted in the VIP regardless if they got passes or not. They know who he is, like. Yeah, once again, just follow the rules, man. Apparently nowadays, they don't care how famous you are.
But man, Josh Jackson literally looked like he just got off the block. So that's probably one thing. Maybe the person was just like, nah, he probably just thought he was somebody that wasn't. But yeah, or maybe it was one of those people that, that try to, he sees an NBA player, he's like, I'm going to show him. It may be one of those instances, because that happens a lot too. But it's like, bruh, it ain't that serious. Just let him in the VIP.
Yeah, let him in, or don't get that worked up about not being allowed into the VIP.
Yeah.
Just agree, disagree, go your separate ways.
Yeah, that too. So we'll see what happens with him. But, bruh, come on, man. Come on, man. There's a lot crazy. There's so much other stuff you can get arrested for, not that. Quickly, we're going to go quickly through this NHL. The Bruins up 3-0 against the Hurricanes. They won last night. And I believe the score was 2-1 to take the 3-0 lead. They are one game away from reaching the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in I forget how many years.
2011. I seen the T-shirt today.
Oh yeah. That is 2011. 2011. When did they win it?
2011.
When was the other year they went and lost?
My man. That might have been 2014.
Oh, okay. All right. So the Bruins they've been playing well in this postseason. Once again, Tuukka Rask. This guy is he is a save machine. He had a 9.72 save percentage last night, and for the conference finals, he has a 9.44 save percentage and 35 saves last night. This guy, he's on another level. This is a guy that the Boston fans love to bash whenever they lose, but he's been on another level.
With a name like that, I'm expecting him to go to the Hall.
Yeah.
And he's nice too, so.
Yeah, so they're up 3-0. They got a chance to close it out, I believe, tomorrow night in Carolina, which I believe they should, because the way they've been playing offensively and defensively, it looks like they've overwhelmed Carolina at this point.
Carolina ain't ready.
They definitely are not. San Jose and St. Louis, they're tied 1-1. The Sharks won game 2, 6-3. Martin Jones, the goalie, had 28 saves in that game. The Sharks, they had a few players scoring. They had two players who each scored 2 goals, and then they had a couple other players. And then the Blue Wings, the Blues, they won game 2, 4-2, having 4 players each scored. So this series right now is very competitive, tied 1-1, and we'll see what happens. I think the Bruins, whoever comes out the West, if the Bruins do come out the East, I think the Bruins will be highly favored to win the Stanley Cup.
I mean, if they sweep Carolina, they're gonna be relaxing for a week.
Yeah,
Before
definitely.
they play again.
Get that sweep out the way. Get it out the way. All right, NFL news. The Jets, they just fired their GM. Why are you firing your GM after the draft? Why didn't you do this before the draft? Why are you firing your GM in May? What is going on? New York sports is a dumpster fire right now.
I'm saying they can't get a win.
Yeah, and they made the head coach Adam Gase the interim GM. This is just a recipe for disaster, because this isn't gonna go well.
Come on, say that again.
They made the head coach the interim GM.
Whew.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work that man's gonna have to do.
Yep, and
That's a lot of work.
So that's the Jets. I don't understand what they're doing, but
they don't understand what they're doing either.
Yeah, they definitely don't. The Seattle Seahawks, they released Cam Chancellor and Doug Baldwin for failed physicals. But Cam Chancellor, he didn't even play at all last season. I thought he already retired. Apparently not. But
I thought
that because he announced his retirement. But so they released him. Doug Baldwin, he's now contemplating retirement after this release. It's all because they failed the physical. interesting. But so Doug Baldwin, he's third in Seahawks history in receiving yards. He's second in receiving touchdowns. And in 123 games with the Seahawks, he has 493 receptions, 6,563 yards, and 49 touchdowns. Not bad, and a Super Bowl ring. So
I mean, you got you a ring, man. It don't matter what you do
could have had
after
two,
that.
but you got locked down by Revis Island. Came to the pass. And Cam Chancellor, too. So it's like that whole Legion of Boom thing is over with after this because, this guy, he hasn't played a full season since 2014. And then the last time he played was 2017, and that's when all of them were getting hurt. Sherman got hurt that year. Earl Thomas got hurt that year. Then he got hurt that year. So it was just like the domino effect. And now
changes had to be made. The culture of that defense has to change.
The neck injury, too. So,
man.
So, I mean, kudos to him on a great career. You got a ring, too. So we'll see what happens here. And also, the Seahawks, they signed Ziggy Ansah. He played for the Lions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first name is Ezekiel. That is just, I don't know why Ezekiel makes me laugh. That name is hilarious. That's what but yeah. This guy, he's not a bad player. 48 career sacks. He's had 2 seasons of double-digit sacks, 14 and a half in 2015 and 12 in 2017. So last year he only played in 7 games. But I think he'll be a good fit for the Seahawks. I mean, they need to revamp their defense
They need
anyways.
something.
Yeah,
they need something.
They're losing players one by one.
Yeah, they are. Like, literally.
Yeah, and they need to sign their damn middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner.
Oh, okay.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know what the Seahawks is doing.
Another new Jaguars, Telvin Smith. This guy, he just announced he's not going to play this season. I think personal matters. He's just not sitting this season out, which was very interesting. I mean, this guy, he's an All-Pro. He's one of the best defensive players, a linebacker, because he's one of those linebackers that can cover wide receivers and tight ends. So they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot in their defense. So
hopefully everything's home, everything's safe.
Yeah.
Everything's all right at home. It's life, just because you're at the height of your career and you want to take a year off. So hopefully it's not too serious and he gets through it and he comes back.
Yeah, let's hope so. Good, best wishes to him. But yeah, that was quite the shocker. But the Jaguars, they've been falling off ever since they made their conference finals and were running their mouths, and now the wheels are all falling off on them, and good. They suck. That's what they get. Also, the Miami Dolphins, they signed cornerback Xavier Howard to a new deal, 5 years, $76 million, and he get $46 million guaranteed. And he's our highest paid cornerback right now, because there's some other cornerbacks that are up for a big contract, but he's the highest paid right now. And he had 7 picks last season. He's a second-round pick, so I mean, kudos to him for working his way up and getting that big contract, especially for a second-rounder.
Especially in the NFL.
Yeah.
Actually finally giving some money up. What about Norman, though? I see.
Oh yeah, Norman. He was, he had $75 million, $50 million guaranteed. Okay. That was the previous. And then some other key cornerbacks with big contracts. Tremaine Johnson, he had $45 million guaranteed. Xavier Rhodes, he had $40 million guaranteed. Patrick Peterson, 48 guaranteed. Desmond Trufant, 42. And then the rest with 26, 28, and 30 million. So, I mean, get your money defensive backs, because they don't value defense in the NFL like that. No. And lastly, with the NFL, they're going to suppress a judge has ordered a suppression of the Bob Kraft video that I don't know why anybody wanted to see it. It's just disturbing. I don't want to see no old man getting satisfied. That's not even. But the idea of that. So they're suppressing that. This is just an example of when you have money, you can, this is stuff that could happen. You can have this type of things go away. So children, money can buy you good lawyers and get you out of situations.
Plus, I think all parties agree that they should suppress that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see wrinkles and sweat. Do not want to see that.
Because I want to see somebody's grandfather just, it was terrible. We're going to go to Athletes Corner right now. So this was Emerson men's basketball. They came in here, Bill Curry, former McDonald's All-American, Massachusetts Gatorade Player of the Year in 1990. So he was here with a few of his players. So Athletes Corner, and then we're going to come back, wrap this thing up. Hello, welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. Today we got some conference champions here. We got McDonald's All-American here, former McDonald's All-American. There's a lot of talent on this episode. We got the Emerson men's basketball team here. How's it going, fellas?
How you doing? Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Thank you for making that trip from Boston down here on this rainy day. So, Coach, there's a lot to talk about with you guys. You guys had a lot of success this season. You guys captured the first NUMAC conference championship in school history. How does that feel for you?
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's been a long time coming. We've had a lot of struggles in recent years, and these guys came together and put the hard work in. So it was fun to watch them grow throughout the season.
Yeah, talk about that. How was the season for you guys? Because we just talked about the season opener for BU, and you guys said that was such a different team from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. What made these guys get better after that game?
I think that game, going into that game, that's going to be a battle, and it was more just to show these guys what it's going to take. You guys think you're all this. Let's play some big boys and get a taste of it. And the score wasn't really good, but the way these guys played and competed, I think the coaching staff was pretty pleased with how hard they ran, and they were right there. We just weren't ready. We'd only been practicing for a couple weeks, and they'd been practicing basically since they graduated from high school, and they got the summer workouts and all that. So these guys, they did a great job running with them, and I thought we knew we had something then. Obviously we struggled a bit, but these guys, we played about four or five freshmen, got significant minutes, and Jack being a veteran, and Jeff, we're going to stabilize them. But the freshmen really stepped up and pushed these guys and complimented our two horses.
Yeah, one of your freshmen all conference, Trevor. How does that make you feel, just making all conference as a freshman?
It was good. It was sportsmanship, which was, I think, just shows like who I am. So I thought that was pretty cool. But next year I definitely want to, in the coming years, get first team, second team. So just really show what I can do on the court. So my character.
What was the most difficult thing for you to adjusting into the college game?
I think just being a freshman point guard, the point guard is probably the hardest position. So these guys were definitely tough on me, but it was all constructive criticism and, just leading the guys. They're all bigger than me. I'm a small little guard. So, just being in that position and getting thrown in the fire. But I felt like towards the end of the season, I kind of got it together. So, yeah.
Now, Jack, yourself, you was the tournament MVP. How was that for you? Just you had a big game in that tournament game against WPI. So what made you break out in that game?
It was kind of our whole team really came together. Probably the last 2 weeks of the season, we really started peaking, and then going into the playoffs, we had home court advantage, and it all just kind of clicked. And then the way the games just flowed, and the way we played as a unit, it got me a lot of open shots, and I just hit them. And so we just sort of put together a bunch of good games in a row.
Yeah. Also, you were also all conference. So just what was that feeling for you? Just being known that you played high and you got acknowledged for that one.
I was definitely grateful for the award, and it was definitely cool to be honored by the league and sort of acknowledged in that sense. But our goal was to win the NUMAC championship, and so accomplishing that was really significant.
Yeah. Now, Coach, you're only losing 2 seniors. You got a lot of guys coming back. You have a freshman that was Rookie of the Year. You got all conference. You got Jack coming back. So what is this expectation for this team going forward?
Well, these guys kind of dug their own grave a little bit. They showed us they can play some defense. So we know we can do it for the whole season now instead of just a couple games. So they're capable. So we have very high expectations. We got to the NCAA tournament, first time in school history, and took a long bus ride to New Jersey just to come home. But it was I think our expectations are pretty high and not unrealistic. I think until you actually do it, you have a little bit of doubt, but these guys should have no doubt in their minds that they're very capable and just got to work hard. And as you saw with the Celtics season this year, that, last year means nothing. It's what are you doing now? And so these guys, I think they're hungry and that they're ready to work, and that they've already been telling us they're in the gym and in the weight room. So good things hopefully to come.
Yeah. Trevor and Jack, can you guys just talk about that tournament game? It's first time NCAA tournament. Can you guys just talk about that game?
Yeah, so we went into that game and we were really confident, and I know as a team we knew it was going to be a unique game because of the playing style. They play like a very up and down style, and so just adjusting to that, and it was new for everyone. This was literally our school's first tournament game in history, and we were playing at there, and I thought we came out and played well, and we sort of just lost our energy towards the end. And I think, it was tough for the seniors and people that are graduating, and as a year we thought we could have gone further, but I know for myself and the other guys as well coming back, it was a very good learning experience, and we're definitely going to take that into next year and use it to go back.
Yeah, just piggyback on Jack. We played a lot of freshmen, so just to get that taste your first year, for the next 3 years, that's our motivation. We want to get back there, and it was such a fun experience. We obviously wish we could have gone further, but now that we have that taste in our mouth, then now we really want to work and get back there. So. Yeah.
Can you each just speak about losing Jeffrey? He was the leading scorer. Obviously, he did big things for you guys. Just talk about losing him.
Yeah, everyone knows what Jeff can do on the court. He's a scorer. He makes his teammates better. But the real thing is, it's just Jeff's character off the court. I think that, coming in, he kind of welcomed me into the family. We worked out all summer together, so he really got me ready. And he got other freshmen in the gym too. And he's just a kid that gets everyone to shoot after practice and get better in the weight room. And he's always in the chat, trying to get us better and motivate us. So I think off the court, what people don't see is what's most important about Jeff. So he's going to be a tough loss, but he'll always be remembered as someone who really got us better.
Hey, Coach, you got your jersey retired at Boston College this past February. You obviously had a lot of success at Boston College. Just talk about having that acknowledgement of them retiring your jersey.
Honestly, I try to just block it out because we're so focused on this season that I didn't really put much thought into it. And then all of a sudden the day came, and I thought that the best part is that just about all our teammates, my teammates were back, and I got to bring these guys into Connie and let them see what basketball is really about. Yeah, these games and all this, but it's really the journey, and to see all the guys that I went to school with, and they're living all across the country, and everyone was back in the gym, and it was just awesome to get everyone back in one place, and it wasn't for a funeral or anything. So it was good to see them all walking and talking, and so that was a whole lot of fun. And we had some good battles, and that's what it's about. You play, try to change a culture, and I thought we did that when I was at BC, and just like these guys, and changing that culture and getting Emerson back on that winning streak, and showing them that they're very capable.
Yeah, definitely. Did you guys know his basketball resume beforehand?
Definitely, we definitely knew his resume, but I think at the jersey retirement, you really saw sort of it was a nice showing of really what he accomplished for that school and what he really meant to Boston College. So I think that was, as a team, that was a really nice opportunity to show that we also acknowledge that you're very talented and very good.
All right, see, I told you guys 10 minutes goes by quick, so we're about out of time, but thank you guys for coming. Good luck on the upcoming season. Emerson College, #1 journalism school in the country. Don't let them people from Syracuse, Missouri, and USC tell you otherwise. We're #1. Thank you guys. You guys can come back anytime.
Thank you.
All right, you guys been watching Heffley's Corner, and we're done. All right, and we are back. Oh, I gotta fix my mic. We are back. Coach Bill Curley, if you guys don't know his basketball resume, so he was McDonald's All-American. He was 1990 Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts. Got selected by the Spurs in '94 draft, 22 overall, and also he was on that team. He played in the McDonald's All-American game. That was with McGinnis from North Carolina. Montrose. Eric Montrose from North Carolina, Grant Hill.
Okay, all right.
Those guys, and then he played they beat the North Carolina team of Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse, Montrose in '94, and then they also beat Indiana. Oh, nice, Indiana. And
Was that Cheney?
I think so. 90.
That might have been a little early. Because Cheney was around when Shaq, I think, was in college.
Yeah, I don't think that was with Cheney, but yeah, it was like '94. So he's got quite the resume for basketball, and he's tall. So thank you, coach. And I will definitely come to a practice. Me and him will come to a practice and give your players some work. I'm joking.
No, we'll give some work.
I'm like, no, we gon'. All right, before we gonna wrap this show up. We got just some stuff to go over with. The Red Sox are surging. Granted, they lost last night in extra innings, 5-4, I believe. Chris Sale had 17 strikeouts. I think he had 13 the previous game, so I think he set a record for strikeouts in a 2-game span with 30. But I mean, you can't have that many strikeouts and lose. But the Red Sox, they're over 500 now. They're third in the AL East right now behind. Tampa Bay right now has the best record in the AL East, 25-15. The Yankees are behind them, 24-16, and then the Red Sox, 22-20. So, granted, we're still in May, so there's plenty of time. But the good thing about this is Tampa and New York, they had ample opportunity to actually stretch to those games longer because the Red Sox were starting off so slow. But hey, they played well.
You know what I'm gonna tell you, man. We won it last year. Slow start. I'm not worried.
Yeah. Slow start, especially with 100 and.
In the picture, what's his name? Who was killing? Was it Sales that was killing?
Last year?
Nah, this year they started to kill. They was giving him a hard time.
Yeah, he just be losing some of the games he's been doing well. So he started off like 0-4.
Yeah. So I mean, it's once again. Baseball is one of them seasons that you don't even really should talk about them until halfway through the season.
My favorite baseball story this year is Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox. Dude is hilarious. He got the home run chain. Every time he hits a home run, he does the extra bat flip. He tosses that thing.
I seen the bat. Oh, see the up? He did the bat flip up, looking around.
Yeah,
I mean, he's trying to bring some, and I want to say some charisma to the game because he said it's a boring sport, and they try to kill him for that. Like, yo, he's not oblivious. He looks in the mirror. He understands what he loves to do, and it's boring. So what? He's still doing it.
Yeah, baseball. I mean, baseball is boring, granted, but their pay is not boring. So
he never said his pay was boring.
Yeah,
he just said the game was.
He ain't gonna complain about them checks because all that guaranteed money. Shoot. Give me that guarantee money.
Yeah, just don't lie to us.
Yeah, don't lie to us. So that's baseball. The Red Sox and Colorado Rockies, I believe, are playing again tonight. And so hopefully the Red Sox get a win tonight and just keep surging as they are. MMA news, the charges on Conor McGregor were dropped for him, knocking out the dude's phone and breaking it or whatever like that, which...
Just buy him a new phone.
That too. It was just
no, you got enough money. Just buy
maybe stop putting your phones in people's faces because you don't know how they're gonna react.
That too, because that's invasion of privacy.
Yeah, that too. I mean, just because he's a celebrity don't mean he wants a camera in
Now,
his
how
face.
close was the phone? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because my thing, if it was in your personal space, he would have slapped dude, and dude really would try to sue. But it's like you could have felt like it was a threat.
Yeah, I mean, you see Offset. You see what happened with Offset? He slapped the phone out of dude's hand in the target. So I mean. Stop taking videos of me while I'm talking. But yeah, charges were dropped on that, and I don't know. Conor McGregor, he retired, right? Or is he?
Nah, he was banned for a year. I think
he's banned. Oh,
for a year, something like him. Man, what's his name? My boy.
Yeah, Russian guy.
The wolf fighter.
Bobby.
One of them fighting bears and stuff.
Yeah, that dude dangerous. He Russian too.
He's a boss.
Yeah, he Russian. He ain't got no conscience. You know what I say about Russians? Russians don't die. Them motherfuckers living in like -5-degree weather. It's gonna take a whole lot for you to kill a Russian.
Nah.
All right, Anderson Silva. I don't know why he's still doing this MMA stuff, but he got TKO this past Saturday and hurt his leg. It was just ugly.
He has the will to fight. His body just can't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
And I would love to see him continue to fight and win, but these last two losses have been leg injuries, right?
Yeah. Bro, fighting is a young man's sport. Once you hit 30, early 30s, you can still keep, but after your early 30s is done, you just need to give it up. There's nothing good is going to happen after your early 30s.
Especially when you're getting kicked and your body's getting pounded on. It's not like you're playing a different sport. You know what I mean? You're playing, They're just fighting.
Yeah, fight. Yeah,
Just fighting.
and then the headshots too when you taking the headshots. So it's like.
But his legs just can't keep up anymore. His legs are just falling apart.
He had his moment. He had his time. He had
He's
his
like
time.
one of the greatest.
Yeah. So I mean, Anderson Silva. I mean, just give it up, buddy. And they were booing the guy that beat him too. For I don't even know why they were booing him, but they were booing him. Maybe because it was in his own hometown. But come on now. Maybe y'all should have just let him know he can't be doing that.
Stop lying to yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, there is a boxing match. Deontay Wilder versus, I can't even pronounce this guy's name, Dominic Breazeale or something like that. Breazeale, I don't know, Brazeale.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Joshua.
Well,
That's the only fight I'm looking forward to hearing about or seeing from him.
man, that fight is not going to happen because of the politics in Boston. As Pedro always says, politics in Boston just ruins all the marquee matches. But yeah, Wilder's probably going to win this one, and then they're going to have this fake anticipation for him versus Anthony Joshua. Then they'll act like they're negotiating. Then the negotiations will fall through. Then they'll blame each other. They'll say, this guy's not agreeing to this guy's not agreeing to that, like they did last time. So it's like, come on, you two just get in a fight. Just fight.
All that nonsense sound like somebody's scared out of one of them two. So my thing is, just set it up, man, and fight. The whole world want to see it.
Bruh, there's a whole lot of money to be made in that fight. Well, shoot, if you guys got to fight in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, fight in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
And if you don't want to fight each other, just say that.
That too.
Just say that. Like,
I mean, yeah, like the boxing enthusiasts, I know they're heated because of that, because they want to see these two guys go at it. Cause come on now.
But how many times are we gonna have, like nowadays, we're gonna have these stellar fights or stellar boxers that fight when
the consumer wants it.
And it's been like years later, like, you know what I mean? All the fizz out of the coke can is left.
Yeah, like how long did it take for Holyfield and Tyson to fight? How long did that? think that happened. Then granted, the ear biting and stuff happened.
I was more talking about Mayweather and Pacquiao, just because that thing was forever, and it's starting to turn into the culture of these.
That thing started in 2008.
Yeah, my point exactly.
They went from 2008. When did they fight? Like 3 years ago or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. So we had this whole 8 years. You two were ducking and dodging each other, and then you have that like.
And I don't want that Joshua fight to end up like that. Yeah,
granted, they're still pretty young too. They're still in their 20s, so I mean, make it happen. If y'all need a promotion team, we got y'all.
Facts.
We got y'all. We got cameras here too. LCTV. We'll broadcast the fight for y'all. Just cut us a check.
Fat check.
I don't think we got none yet. I don't think we got. I think that's about it. We got nothing else. He won't be here. I think he's going to Philippines next week.
Yep,
so
I won't be here.
Todd will be out of here. He'll be in the Philippines getting some nice warm weather, and I'll be here in the cold. So we'll see you guys when we see you guys. I missed the camera. Peace out.